Alright, for Synergy Coach, we have two major processes that are pretty much paramount for how we do our program design. One process is called the SC solution, the Synergy Coach solution. Another process is called Body U. I will explain in this one Body U process, which is a part of the SC process as well. So to get started, the first thing you want to do is you want to go to QC. So you'll notice the QC. When you go to QC, which is for quality control, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to analyze the hardware. The really neat thing about this is that it tells you exactly what to do, so you don't have to overthink anything. So let's make sure the scale is clear, close the Bod Pod door, and click Next. So I'm just going to click Next. It's going to start analyzing. Click Next. Alright, it says open the Bod Pod door, then click Next. So I open the Bod Pod door and I'm keeping it open, and I click Next, and then make sure the Bod Pod is empty. Close the Bod Pod door, click Next. Do not touch the Bod Pod during calibration. Just click Next, and the pod is calibrating. Now, a quick point that I want to make sure I tell you is, you trainers, is make sure that the door is locked. So, I mean not locked, make sure the door is closed. Because sometimes the air can come on, that could mess. I like to keep everything the same from a atmospheric standpoint. So make sure that the door stays closed. We also make sure that the vent is closed as well in case the air conditioner was to come on. So it's saying please wait. Basically, it's just calibrating. What we're doing is it's a 20-minute process, if that. But we're calibrating the air. This is our 49 cylinder 49 cylinder liter cylinder. My bad. Tongue tied, and just place that in there and close it up. And we just want to make sure that we calibrate the air with it, and really we're tearing, just like you would tear a scale to make sure that the scale is correct. We're tearing the air, if you will. So go in, click Next. Calibration is in process. So basically when you look at this, it's analyze hardware, calibrate scale, check scale, auto run, volume, warm up. Next part we're gonna do today is check scale. Normally we will do it to calibrate scale only if we haven't done it in 2 weeks. I can tell you I just calibrated the scale yesterday. So when you have already, the scale will be calibrated for a total of 2 weeks. So when it's calibrated, first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna press check scale. And when you check scale, it's going to give you some instructions or whatnot, and it'll even tell you, calibrate the scale if it has been done in 2 weeks. So it's been done just the other day. So instead of that, what you'll do is you'll just click on Next, and then you're going to follow the instructions. So placing the weight on the scale, alright, and then you click Next. And then remove the weight and click Next, and it tells you the weight. So basically that's pretty much it for that process. Now if you were to do the other process, you would put the weight on the scale back and forth 3 times and it would do the same thing, but it's just checking the weight. So that's pretty much it for that. Then click Finish. Alright, this next one is auto run. So if you have to use the restroom or anything, this is a good time to do that, because the auto run, once you get it started, it just takes off. It starts to do it for you. So when you click on auto run, close the door. It's already closed. Click on Next, and don't touch the pod. Alright. This is the first measurement being taken. It says measurements in process. That's pretty much it. What's going to happen is it's going to do It's going to pretty much measure the 49-liter cylinder, and it'll do that 5 or 6 times. So what'll happen, let's show this first one, what'll happen is it'll go through a complete round, and it will show you where it's measuring the air to be. So it's 50.0. And then you just allow this to happen for 5-6 times, and it'll give you a pass or fail. If it's fail, you just start over. If it's not, you just keep going to the next phase. Alright. This is the auto run results. Basically, the standard deviation has to be less than 60 milliliters. And so we passed this test. But if it says fail for the standard deviation or for the slope, you have to repeat the test. So once it says pass for both of them, you want to go ahead and keep going. You click on finish, and the next thing you do is volume. You open the pod door, you keep it open, you click on next. Now I'll say make sure the pod is empty, so then we're going to take the liter out and click on it. Next. Like I said, it's very simple to do. This, like I said, this is so effective, and it takes little time. This is the most time that it's going to take, and that is literally the calibration process. So the calibration process is huge. We try to get in 30 minutes earlier. It's only going to take you roughly, I used to race myself to see if I can get it done under 20 minutes. You can get it done under 20 minutes if you're going really quickly. But so get in 30 minutes earlier just in case anything goes wrong. You want to make sure that you are in good position, nice and comfortable and ready for the client to come in. Alright, after this you're going to follow the instructions, place the 49-liter cylinder back in the pod, and click on next. Close the pod door, obviously it's closed, click on next. It gives you the first measurement. And this is going to be just like the other process. The major difference is I will physically open the door and click on next to get the measurements. So we'll just do the first one. I don't know if you can tell, but the air conditioner just came on not too long ago. So, like I said, I'm super glad that the door is closed. That way it doesn't mess anything up. Alright, it tells you to open the pod door. Open it. Click on next. Close the door. Click on next. And you'll literally do this for about 5 more rounds. And it'll give you measurements, and you'll be done. Alright, so this is our last one, or second to the last one. Looks good. Everything is perfect right now. And it says open the pod door, remove the liter. Click on that. We have passed. Press finish, and that is it. So, moving on, we're getting ready to do a subject. And so, I'm going to click on body composition. So, once you click on body composition, you just click on next. You want to retrieve the subject's information, or the person's information. I'm going to select Tobias. You click on apply. Or if it's a new person, and I'm going to go back real quick because you'll be more than likely, I'm going to cancel so we can go back. If it's a new person, basically you're going to put their first name, last name, all the information in. You will select, if they're black, you will select African American. If they have any African American in them, you put black in. Otherwise, it's general population. So I'm actually going to put a test person in. I'm going to call him Larry. I'm going to say Larry Ricky. Alright, have his birthday, call him a male. Inches. So basically you ask how tall they are. Have a nice little chart here to let you know. We're going to say he's 6'4", so that means he's 76 inches. And then after that, you click on his ethnicity. I'm going to say his general population. And actually, I'm going to say he's black. And then I'm going to click on that. Oh, he has to be, he can't be a kid. So we're going to say that his birthday was 1979. Alright? Cool. Now, I only do that just so you can see, but here, like African American male is shoot. So it's already selected for you. If it's a woman, it's going to give you different, it's going to give you a different, it's going to give you different density models. So I will make sure you know that there are different density models. So there's different density models for males. There's different density models for females. We aren't built the same. We aren't the same. This is what makes us very customized, very specialized. If it is a larger woman or a larger male, like there's a different densities from a obesity standpoint. So depending on that's you make a guesstimate there. I can tell you how to do that as well, but generally, like if it's an obese woman, it's gonna have a different density model. So I just want you to pay attention to that density model. Alright, so this is for somebody like, we have a lot of people in the meal prep club. It's another process, but us all the same. Basically with meal prep club, VIP, you have people that are coming in on a monthly basis, and they're coming in so consistently that it's going to be really important to give them great nutritional advice, to see what they've done the past month and making sure, asking them what they did the past month. And so the VIP is like people that are coming in all the time. So you may have somebody like that. So what you're going to do is click on body composition, and then after that you click on next, and then you say retrieve subject information because they've already been here. I'm going to type in their first name, so I'm going to say Tobias. Click on apply. It already has the information in. Has his ethnicity, his size. Click on next. Already has everything in. You don't have to touch anything. For anybody that's been here before, you just click on next. Tells you to open the pod door. Click on next. So it's a lot like the calibration phase. Make sure the pod is empty. Click on next. It starts to calibrate. Next thing that happens is that it will start telling you things to make sure you're doing to check your person to make sure they're okay. So we want to make sure they're in tight-fitting clothes. We'll make sure that they don't have any jewelry on. We want to make sure they don't have any socks, shoes, shirts off if it's a guy. If it's a lady, that they're in their recommended attire. So the calibration is in process. You put the 49-liter cylinder in, just like the calibration process. Let it close up. Click on next. Close the pod door. Click on next. Again, just like the calibration process, it is very, very simple. The only thing you need to make sure you're doing is making sure you know like the different density models when a person comes in. Alright, so we're gonna tell our subject we're gonna make sure that they have removed all jewelry, eyeglasses, shoes, socks, and click on next to continue. So I'm gonna check my subject out, make sure they're good. Alright, make sure you're in the right attire. I'm clicking on next. What happens next is we clear the scale for them to get ready to get on the scale. Then we ask the subject to step on the scale. Make sure your person pulls down their head garment as tight as they possibly can. This is one of the things that helps with your results. You want to make sure that you have the subject limit their movement, so no movement at all, and tell them to breathe as normal as possible. It gives you those instructions as well, and you'll do a few of these. Make sure you use this to turn on the video. We oftentimes will have this on for clients to look at just in case they're claustrophobic. This calms them. Ask the subject to exit the pod, close the pod door, get test results, click on next. What you want to do is ask that person, are they a sedentary, low active, active, or very active person? I know that our subject, I'm going to call him an active person. He's young too. I'm going to call him a very active person. It gives those results. You click on next. That was 24%, so you want to make sure you remember that, because after you press print results, it's going to give you this default screen down here, and you want to know that this person was 24%, so they're 15 to 30. So if he was like 10%, I would obviously be right here. You know what I mean? So we're going to use this one, and then you're going to click the history chart. If it's a person that's been here before, you click the history chart for the 20 recent tests. You're going to click additional history chart because it lets you know like how much fat as well, and then you press print and it will give you your results. That is how you help people learn as much as possible about their nutrition programming. If you haven't been in the Bod Pod, you need to get in the Bod Pod. If you're an old client that has not been in the pod and you're trying to lose weight, I can tell you, not trying to be mean, but you're wasting your time if you're not getting in this to get your numbers. You're wasting a whole lot of time because you're asking a lot of questions, but a lot of the answers will be given to you by looking at this. It's going to give us your resting metabolic rate. It's going to give your total energy expenditure, and it's going to give you it's going to let us know how many calories you should be consuming on your busy days, how many calories you should be consuming on your lighter days, and it helps us give you a better plan. It helps to give you a better plan. This shows that our person who got in today, whereas they were 43 pounds of fat, now they've gained some as well, and it also shows that their fat-free weight, which is their lean mass, they have gained some lean mass as well. Well, they actually went from 156 to 160 to 157. So this is important because, as you can see, from the start, whatever they were doing, they picked up, 4 pounds of muscle, and then in between now and then, they've lost 3 pounds of that. And so, like, knowing what they've been doing from a nutritional standpoint, but also exercise standpoint, is very important. Now, this person went from 199 pounds to 208 pounds, but since the last time we've looked at this, they went from 211 pounds to 208 pounds. So they've lost weight, but of the weight they lost, only 3 of it was muscle. And we want to make sure they're losing fat too. So this person lost muscle, they lost 3 pounds of muscle, but they also lost fat, so that's very exciting. And then we just need to find out what they're doing right from a nutritional standpoint and make some recommendations for that, and then we can go from there. Exercise is what it is. It's very important to know, on the more active days that, this person needs to be consuming 3,300 calories. But if, let's say this person was trying to lose fat as well, we would make different recommendations, and I can explain that a lot later. But As you can see, this is very thorough. If you've been in a few times, it gives you your body fat percentage. This person went from 21% to 24.5%, but they went from 24.1 to 24.5, and that just lets us know, over a long haul, this person's gained 8.5 pounds, and of that 8.5 pounds, 0.6 of it is muscle. And so, depending on what this person's goal is, because sometimes people are just trying to put mass on and they just want the information, we can help them with recommendations. All right. So this is how we make things happen with the Bod Pod. This is, I will say,